Welcome to Movie of the Week, a weekly show where I review a random movie, randomly selected by me or suggested by you guys in the comments. This week I'm reviewing 1987's Predator. The movie starts with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Dutch being given orders to go into the jungle and shoot up a guerrilla military base. Dutch makes it pretty clear early on that he doesn't want to just go to the woods shooting guns off for no reason. So his old pal Dylan, aka Carl Weathers, decides to tell him that it's actually a rescue mission. In quotes. Once they get Dutch to believe that it's a rescue mission, it's pretty much just smooth sailing from here. So now we're introduced to the rest of Dutch's squad, being Hawkins, Mac, Billy, Poncho, Chewing Tobacco, all of them. The gang lands and they just find a bunch of strung up, skinned, dead bodies, and holy shit, that's pretty graphic. So Dylan plays it off that the gorillas are the one that did this, but very clearly everybody, it was our star character, the Predator, who is currently stalking his prey for the next kill. Dutch and his men all sneakily army crawl up to the gorilla base and just start taking them out. And with nobody noticing, Dutch is able to strap a C4 to the back of a truck, deadlift it off the ground, and throw it at them, blowing everything to smithereens. After that, for like the next 4 minutes, the gang just takes turns all just shooting everything at the camp with all of the power they have, blowing everything up, shit's flying everywhere, it's nuts. And this goes on for like 4 minutes. Now, part of me really likes this scene, part of me really doesn't. I really don't like this scene because I feel like it goes on for way too long. It's only 4 minutes, but it feels like 10 minutes of them just shooting off their guns and throwing grenades and blowing stuff up. I can only take so much of that before I get bored, and I did. I completely blanked out through this entire scene. Now, in hindsight, I really enjoy the fact that I blanked out and thought this movie was just going to be a dumb action film, because it completely subverted my expectations when it turns out that the movie's actually a gory slasher.
You sell some?
So Dutch doesn't take it too kindly when he finds out that all of Dylan's words were kangaroo shit.
Look, we just stopped a major invasion. In 3 days, they'd have been across the border with this stuff. So you cooked up a story and dropped the 6 of us in a meat grinder.
Everything he made up. It was all a fabricated story to get these awesome guys in here to do his dirty work. Oh, I almost forgot. There's this hostage girl named Anna, and she's pretty cool, I guess. But no matter how many new characters you introduce, Mr. Preds will always be watching from the shadows. The characters are on the way back to camp when Billy notices something off in the near distance. Now, he doesn't really know what it is, can't really put his finger on it, but he knows something's out there. His peepers are seeing and sensing something. Then Anna tries to make her big, massive escape, and gets stopped almost immediately. And then Predator jumps out of the shadows, kills Hawkins, and runs away. This leaves Poncho to find an absolutely traumatized Anna, and whatever the hell that is that's left of Hawkins. But that wasn't Predator's only victim right now, because right after that, Chewing Tobacco gets shot right through the back. And Mac doesn't take that very lightly. You see, Chewing Tobacco is one of Mac's best friends, so he's pretty pissed at the Predator. At this point, Mac is just firing off into the woods with absolutely no aim and no idea where or what he's shooting at. But you know what, it's fine for Predator because Mac runs out of ammo anyway. Never mind, he is Chewing Tobacco's minigun now. The rest of the gang shows up and they also just start firing off into the jungle as if there's no tomorrow. If there's anything I learned from this movie, it's that the alien Predator cares more about this planet than the humans living there. Because Dutch and his squad have a massive vendetta against trees, apparently. After all the smoke clears, they set up a few traps just to make sure that if Predator comes back, they can kill him. Although the entire squad was shooting at him, Mac was only able to hit him once, leading to one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which is just Predator healing himself. I really like that this scene is included because it shows Predator has weaknesses. A lot of times in other slasher films, absolutely anything can happen to the antagonist and they'll walk out completely fine. But showing him get shot and having to fix himself back up is a really nice way of adding a bit of reality to this character. And the little cherry on top is showing that he's actually in pain while doing this. That yelp for help alerts the rest of the team to know that that creature is still out there and that they need to prepare. It turns nighttime and Mac gets a little weird.
We walk out, just you and me, nobody. He'll come back again, and when he does, I'm gonna cut your name right into.
I hope that guy's okay. He's pretty upset about losing his friend. Then the trap goes off and Mac just starts stabbing the Predator. He just starts going nuts on him.
Got you, motherfucker.
I'm just messing with you. It was a pig. But now it's daytime again, so our hunky pal starts setting up even more traps. Oh shit, they actually did it. Awesome. Never mind, the Predator gets away, and Mac runs off to go find it. So now Dylan's left with the responsibility of finding both of them. After Dylan finds Mac, they both calm down and relax long enough to realize that they can actually see the Predator.
I see it.
So they both logically decide to split up and go sneak up on him. Mac crawls on the ground and sadly realizes that his life has come to an end. The Predator stares Dylan down and blows his goddamn arm off. Predator isn't done though, because right after that he turns Dylan into a kebab. While Dylan screams in agony, the rest of the gang try to retreat into hiding. Except for Billy, who throws his gun to the ground and starts stripping. Billy cuts open his left boob and decides he wants to fight the Predator one-on-one. But the Predator isn't about all that and takes him out like a bitch. Okay, gang, let's just relax and think real quick. Try and regain some memory. God damn, Pancho can't catch a break. One of my favorite things about this movie is Arnold's expressions while he's doing stuff. Also, literally anything he says when he's super amped up is gold. Predator shoots Dutch in the arm, leaving him defenseless on the ground. Then proceeds to say this movie's most quotable line.
Get to the chopper!
But don't worry about Dutch because he isn't giving up. He is determined as hell to escape. And I mean it, really. He jumps off of 2 waterfalls. I'm really gonna give the Predator some shit here because there is zero reason that Dutch should have been able to escape. Predator didn't kill Anna because she was defenseless. I think that's why he didn't kill her earlier. And if his reason was because Dutch was defenseless and didn't want to hurt him now, why the hell does he chase him then? It just doesn't make any sense. If he wanted to kill Dutch, he could have done it in that massive window of time where he was on the ground screaming and crawling. It just seems a little redundant for Predator to chase a guy to kill him just to get back up to chase a guy to kill him. After that double waterfall tumble, Dutch gets up on some land to sit and relax. Oh, nuts, he's back! Dutch backs himself up against a wall, and the Predator pops his head out from under the water. This is the first time Dutch actually gets to see the Predator, and he's very clearly disappointed because he keeps making pouty faces at him. Predator tries to find Dutch, but he isn't able to sense his heat signatures, and gives up. After demolishing a scorpion, Predator skips away and Dutch finally uses his big boy brain to come to the conclusion.
He couldn't see me.
That night, Dutch decides to get to work on some new weapons, a ton of new traps, and some new war paint. And Predator gets ready for the fight by looking at his skull collection. That is the Predator's favorite thing to do, of course. Dutch lights his torch, stands tall, and screams for the Predator's recognition. Dutch hides to sneak up on the Predator, but it also turns out that the Predator was gonna hide in the same hiding spot to find Dutch. Well, it turns out these boys aren't so different after all. Maybe if they got to know each other and stopped fighting, they'd become really good friends. Maybe the lesson of Predator is to appreciate the friends you made along the way. Never mind, the lesson of Predator is kill or be killed. Predator's shoulder gun starts going wonky and shooting absolutely everything except for Dutch, who runs away like a little tiny mouse. Dutch tries to get away but runs straight into the Predator. Luckily for him though, the Predator completely underestimated his hide-and-seek skills. Dutch follows the Predator's blood back to where he's hiding and tries to blow him up. This all causes Dutch to fall into the water and wash off all of his camouflage. Maybe everything worked out. Maybe he died in the explosion. Nards. Nope, he's back again. And here comes one of my least favorite things for any antagonist to do, which is toy with their victim until the victim fights back. Now, I'll give this one a little bit of an exception because Dutch is the last one alive and Predator's looking for a good fight. Just annoying when I see antagonists in other forms of media toy with their victims long enough to get killed themselves. My point is, if Predator just killed Dutch right here, instead of showing off his ugly mug, he would have won this movie, and everything would have been fine. But instead he decides to mess with Dutch for a bit and completely underestimate him, leading to his death. But I mean, if I were the Predator, I'd underestimate him too. I just killed like 6 of them an hour ago, and it was easy as shit. Now, if you think Dutch didn't like the Predator before, he sure as hell does not like him now.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Good going, Dutch. You know, he has feelings too. Dutch tries to hit Predator with a tree, and Predator responds by slapping Dutch across the screen. Predator cockily follows behind Dutch as he crawls all the way to this little hole that he dug. But this isn't just any hole, ladies and gentlemen, it's Dutch's spike hole. Dutch tries to get Predator to come in so he can get spiked in the head.
Do it! Do it!
But Predator is actually smarter than that, and he sees the spikes and he doesn't do it. Predator moves to a different spot to taunt Dutch before he kills him, but little did he know, Dutch trapped f***ing everything and was ready for everything. Dutch walks up to Predator to finish him off and ask him some final questions.
What the hell are you?
Predator just kind of lays there and makes noises and junk before he decides that he's a sore loser and that he's gonna blow himself up. Because when you lose in a competition, there's no other way to solve things. After that spooky laugh, Dutch books it and just gets the hell out of there. That is until the blast reaches him. Never mind, it looks like Dutch is okay. He's a little dusty, but he's okay. And that's all okay, because look who it is, it's Anna and the chopper. Everybody is here to save Dutch, they're gonna bring him back home. The movie ends with a close-up on Dutch's face and an exterior shot of the helicopter as it flies away into the distance. Predator released in the movie theaters on June 12, 1987, and made about $98 million worldwide. And that makes a lot of sense, because now that I'm watching it in 2021, this is a pretty good movie. Now, I wouldn't consider Predator a masterpiece, but I do think it's extremely important to look back on in the future. The first movie alone spawned an entire franchise of toys, video games, comics, other movies, a massive crossover franchise that everybody knows of. It's amazing how much content this first movie was able to make. Now, I can totally understand somebody these days thinking that it's a waste of time to go watch this movie if they've never seen it. I mean, hell, that's the reason I used to not want to watch it. But when I finally watched this film and realized that it wasn't a massive gore fest, I actually came to enjoy it. I think the movie really shines once Dutch is all alone, because he needs to figure out how to stop the Predator on his own and he doesn't have any weapons or friends to help him. But there are a lot of times in the beginning half of the film where it kind of takes a while to get to the point and drags on a bit. I really don't think the movie starts getting that entertaining until Hawkins dies, because until the Predator actually shows up, this movie is just a massive explosion-filled war film, and not a very good one either. So overall, I think I'm going to give Predator a 6.5 out of 10. I definitely don't think that it should get anything lower than a 5. When I rate movies, I like to look at 5 as just a good movie. Nothing too great about it, nothing too bad about it, it was just good. So I give it a 6.5 because I do actually enjoy Predator more than just good, but I don't think it deserves anything more. I really don't start enjoying this film until about halfway in, and I don't think it's fair to give the rest of this movie a good rating just because I like the second half more than the first. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Movie of the week is something I've wanted to start doing for a while now, so I'm pretty happy that I'm getting it started. If there's a movie you'd like to see me watch and review, please comment below. Otherwise, thank you, and save Norbit now. Goodbye.